in mapping, we found that the fault extended farther north than was previously thought.
What's going on?
And what that means is the fault is, in theory, capable of producing a larger earthquake than was previously thought.
Where does the fault run?
No idea why.
So the fault begins around the town of American Canyon, right on the south end of Napa Valley, and previously it was mapped all the way up to the town of St. Helena. But based on the new mapping, we now believe it extends all the full length of Napa Valley all the way north past Calistoga to around where the town, the community of Woodleaf is.
So it's more dangerous than we thought. Why? Because it's longer than what we had previously thought?
That's correct. So basically, the length of a fault determines the maximum magnitude of earthquake that it could produce. So because previously, with a fault extending as far as St. Helena, that would be capable of producing approximately a 6.8 earthquake. With the additional section of fault, that would be capable of a magnitude 7 earthquake. And I know that doesn't sound like a large difference, but that's actually about twice as much energy because the magnitude scale is a logarithmic scale.
Yeah, and we don't pay attention to that. We're pretty ignorant when it comes to earthquake science, and I admit to my own ignorance, which is why I'm asking you this question. So there are a lot of faults that are dangerous around the Bay Area and parts of the Bay Area. We're familiar with the Hayward Fault. We're familiar with the San Andreas Fault. They made a movie about that one. Is it possible, if there's a massive earthquake on one fault, that it could trigger an earthquake on another fault, that it could somehow cause that fault to also give way at the same time?
That is possible. It's certainly not a guaranteed occurrence by any means, but whenever one large earthquake happens, that changes the stress on all the surrounding faults. On some surrounding faults, it may reduce the chances of an earthquake, but on others, it may increase the chances of an earthquake. So that is whenever one large earthquake happens, there is a somewhat heightened probability of additional significant earthquakes happening after that. But we just never know if that's definite. It's not a definite thing. Sometimes it occurs. We see this in other places around the world. For example, the earthquakes in Turkey in February of this year, there was a magnitude 7.8 earthquake, and then 9 hours later, there was a 7.5 on a different fault that was nearby. So that sort of thing certainly does happen, but it definitely doesn't always happen.
Yeah, that's a huge quake. Well, having this one, then is it called the Napa Fault?
West Napa Fault, yeah. It stretches along the west side of Napa Valley, which is why it's called that.
So, I mean, that's better than having it run through San Francisco, I suppose. How much damage could it do?
So if there was a magnitude 7 earthquake that is rupturing the entire length of the West Napa Fault, it would be here. Of course, it's not as much damage as it would be as if it were right through San Francisco, indeed. But it would be probably similar to the effects of the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake. That was a little bit smaller, magnitude 6.9, but it was kind of at a similar distance to the large populated urban areas of San Francisco, so the impact would probably be roughly similar, maybe a little bit worse since the earthquake is a little bit larger.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and you just keep that research going. We need as much information as we can get.
Cold and flu season is back, and we've got COVID-19, RSV, colds, and flu circulating. We're here with Dr. James White of the California Department of Public Health. How do COVID-19 medications work to treat COVID-19?
So these are antiviral medicines. They stop the virus from multiplying in the body, and then that means that there's less virus to infect different parts of the body, and that way the medications prevent serious illness. And there's also some evidence suggesting that COVID-19 medications may lower the risk of developing long COVID.
How do I get prescriptions for COVID-19 antiviral medication?
Reach out to your healthcare provider if you have one. You can also contact an urgent care center, a pharmacy.
For more information, go to youcanbeatit.org. That's youcanbeatit.org. Or call the CDP Agent Call Center at 1-833-422-4255. That's 1 822-4255.
From your local Honda dealer's traffic center, Dave is going to take us to Santa Cruz Mountains.
We got really slow traffic now. Southbound 17 out of Los Gatos, you head up the hill towards the Lexington Reservoir. Something has gone wrong there. We got really slow traffic pretty much from Highway 9 as you make your way up towards Bear Creek Road. Now, once you get past that, you get to drive at the speed limit for a little bit until you get up towards Redwood Estates. That's where the next slowdown starts because of a crash southbound 17 after Summit Road. The right lane is blocked now there. And now northbound 17, just hearing about a crash before Idlewild. The initial report, both lanes blocked. One car went to the center divide, the other on the right shoulder, but we definitely see traffic backing up through that big curve there. So troubles in the Santa Cruz Mountains, which is why roadways drive safe out there. Bay Ridge to Oblaz, Meter lights are on. Traffic backed up just before the pay gates. Both directions of 80 slow through Berkeley at the moment. And a bit of a surprising slowdown. Southbound 101 in Marin County is going to be a bit heavy from what was called before Marinwood now as you make your way down past the Freitas Parkway towards the North San Pedro. Your next traffic update at 11:48 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
So today it is cloudy, some patchy fog, more chances for scattered showers, especially in the North Bay or near the water. Highs in the low to mid 60s if you're by the coast or by the bay, in the mid to upper 60s inland. Tonight, more rain and wind return as that second system begins to move in. Patchy fog after midnight. Low should be in the low to mid 50s. Tomorrow, cloudy and rainy. Showers especially picking up as we get later into the afternoon. Gusty winds pick up later in the day too. Highs will stay about the same in the 60s all over. There's a high surf warning in effect until 3 o'clock tomorrow morning along the north coast and around San Francisco. And there's a coastal flood advisory that's in effect until 1 o'clock this afternoon in the North Bay. Traffic and weather together on the 8 on All News 1069 and AM 740 KCBS.
In California, we're on a journey to make energy cleaner, safer, and more reliable. At PG&E, our goal is to get there without leaving any family behind. We're undergrounding lines because it's safer and more affordable in the long run. We're helping our customers lower costs by choosing the right energy plan and taking control of their bills with predictable budget billing. As your hometown utility, we won't stop until we deliver the safe, reliable, renewable, and affordable energy you deserve.
Hey guys, at Primale Medical, their mission is to provide you with the medical care you need to improve your ED, low T, and incontinence. With years dedicated to improving the lifestyle of their patients in the Bay Area, Primale Medical strives to improve your love life and overall health. Listen to Dr. Robert Rowley.
We have virtually every medication known to man to help men. We specialize in acoustic wave therapy, doubling the lung, and the digestive system, making them work faster and more effectively, injectable medications, and testosterone treatment for those patients who need it. Impotence problems can be treated in just one visit.
Why wait? Don't lose hope. Call now. Get a PSA test, testosterone test, Doppler ultrasound, and a full year of free visits for just $99. Call now, 415-761-4037. That's 415-761-4037. 415-761-4037. Or go to primealemedical.com.
And back to your News Watch. Pizza Hut franchises in California plan to lay off staff delivery drivers ahead of a new state law that will raise the minimum wage for fast food workers to $20 an hour in April 2024. KCBS's Raquel Maria Dillon talked to experts on both sides of the debate over minimum wage.
San Francisco State Labor historian John Logan doubts that Pizza Hut restaurants or franchisees or their corporate owner Yum Brands really need to lay off all these delivery drivers.
It's simply not true that $1 billion corporations such as Yum Brands could not easily absorb this $20 a wage increase into its business model.
Economist Chris Thornburg of Beacon Economics disagrees. He says an analysis he did last year for the Franchise Association predicted that higher labor costs would mean higher food prices.
Too often, Sacramento seems to think that just raising the minimum wage does good and no harm. It does a little bit of good, but it does significant harm, and we have to pay attention to that.
It's not like there aren't other ways to get your pizza delivered these days. There's Grubhub and Uber Eats and more. But Logan worries that gig workers won't get treated any better than staff drivers. I'm Raquel Maria Dillon, KCBS.
A unique program aims to improve health and health equity by recommending and offering patient access to nature. KCBS's Alice Wirtz reports.
The Center for Health and Nature is part of UCSF Benioff Children's Hospital's program that serves families that are most affected by health disparities, and often they have the least accessibility to access nature.
The clinician can refer them to our SHINE program, where once a month we take patients out into nature and we actually help facilitate that experience.
That's pediatrician Dr. Nusheen Rizani. She's founder and director of the Center for Nature and Health.
When there's more green around where people live or other measures of nature, there's less heart disease, less depression, and actually less mortality.
Dr. Rizani reminds us even planting seeds in a container can be an experience with nature.
Nature can be small, too.
For more on this topic, tune in later today at 1:30 p.m. right here for As Prescribed. I'm Alice Wirtz, KCBS.
KCBS News Time is 11:44. And right now we're going to check in with Stephen Langford with sports.
With exception to the three-game stretch from mid to late October, the San Francisco 49ers have largely avoided getting bit by the injury bug, though the big ones to their safeties in George Odom, who could return after having surgery on a torn bicep last month, but Talanoa Hufanga had season-ending surgery on a torn ACL, so his season reached an early conclusion. Stepping in was the rookie Jair Brown, but head coach Kyle Shanahan revealed yesterday he missed practice with a sprained ankle with potential to miss some time.
There's concern.
Oh, and the stupid thing. This